Anyway, and then I get this letter. You remember, some of you that watch me, you'll know, I got pulled over by the police like 5 weeks ago, or I don't know when it was, something like that. And in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, on the way to work, and the police officer, after the fact, I asked him why he even pulled me over, and he said, because I swerved and it wasn't even that bad. It was just like a, and honestly, I think I was doing something with the camera. But regardless of that, then he thought I smelled like alcohol, so they got me out of the car, and I had to do a sobriety test, which of course I passed, and then he asked, and they were doing good cop, bad cop. He called another cop there, and they asked to search my car, and I said, of course, you know, because I'm not hiding anything. I don't do drugs or, you know, drive around with beer in my car or a gun or whatever. And then I mentioned that I did carry a little pill box. It's a little round pill box. It was very beautiful, that a friend had sent me from Sweden. And I had, I think he wouldn't even let me see what was in there, but he found out when going through my car, and he wouldn't even let me see what was in there. He goes, "What's in this?" And he's just like, you know, and I'm like, "Well, let me see." And he's like, "No." Pulls it back, and I says, "Well, my best guess is there's a couple aspirins, a couple Sudafeds, and probably a couple Xanax, because I had been prescribed those years ago. I don't use them. I never use them when driving, but I'm thinking that those might be in there." So he's like, "Well, I didn't realize it's illegal to drive around with something, a prescription, without the prescription bottle." And I tried to tell him that I had the prescription bottle at home, and then I gave him the pharmacy's number that I go to, that I would have had it filled out, and did have it filled out. But they don't keep their records past 5 years, they told me. And they apologized upside down because they wouldn't confirm to him that, yes, they had prescribed me Xanax. And I guess it was in '04. I didn't even remember when it was, because anyway, when I came home, I, of course, looked for the bottle, and I still have. It's a very mild dosage of it, and I still have a lot of them left, because I don't use them. But if you've ever had panic attacks, you'll know that it's like a safety just to have them in your purse. So, you know, if I go somewhere with my husband and anyway. And he's basically like, "Well, I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to test these." And then he took both my phone numbers, if you remember, which then I received a very suspicious call from the sheriff department asking if my husband was deceased. So it all became very weird. I don't believe in coincidences like that. I just don't. Anyway, he said he was going to have those analyzed, and it's a felony if I had some illegal drugs on me. And I told him it was Xanax, and I also gave him my doctor's name. But unfortunately, that doctor was kicked out of that practice. I knew that, and had moved to another state, because my husband went to another doctor for another reason, and they seen who his GP was, and they said, "Oh, that's too bad he's no longer here," because they forced him out of the practice, and now they've totally changed. And so when the police officer called them, they were like, "No, we've never heard of her. She's never been here. We don't know her." And so when I came home, I called them too, and they were basically the same way to me. "We don't know you. We're a new practice. It's like, you're nobody to us. And I'm like, thanks for your support when I had went to that doctor's office several years and quite a few times at the time because I was having a lot of issues. Anyway, so now I just made that way long. Yeah. So I guess they did analyze the pills I had in a little pill box, and now I guess I'm going to be felon. I don't know. I have a possession of Scheduled 4 substance is the charge that they're wanting to put me with. So I guess it has to be the Xanax that I would have had, generic Xanax, the smallest dosage you can get. I have the pill bottle for that. I don't understand it. I told the police officer it's Xanax. Probably. He wouldn't even let me look. And now they're going to waste their time and make me pull my hair out. And I'm hoping to, you know what, that I don't have to get an attorney. And I have the right to remain silent, they're telling me. The whole Miranda right thing. But if you want to call, you can call the assistant state attorney within 5 days of receipt of this letter to set up an appointment. Yeah. So ain't I special? I'm now going to clog the legal system from a couple Xanax pills that I had in my little pill box from '04 that I didn't even realize were still in there.